Hello and welcome to Fatherhood Adventures. In one of my paid talks where I go around and publicly speak, one of the things we talk about is protecting your legacy. And I wanted to pose the question to you, how are you protecting your legacy? There's several different ways that we go through it, but today we want to talk about one, and one is the written word. How are you cultivating, protecting, and creating a way for your family to hear your advice long after you're gone? I know it's really easy to make videos and things like that, but one of the things that's overlooked is the written word. Now, protecting your legacy is important. Here at Birthright Living Legacy, one of the things we do is we always give fathers their own journal. And we tell them because she didn't know she was writing a book either. But what if this was the one thing that your family had to be able to inherit from you that they were able to utilize before? So the question then becomes, what are you leaving behind? Do you have books? Do you have the pictures? Do you have the ideas? Do you have the reminiscent feelings of how you got to where you are? Did you show them the step-by-step of things that you learned, things that you did, that you tried, that you didn't try? Did you show them the pattern and the footprint that you made while you were here on earth? One of the things that I like to share is when we think about the movie Friday. Friday is one of my favorite movies, the original. They're sitting on a porch. It only took them 2 weeks to be able to produce the whole movie because there's just not a lot going on. However, the cultural impact that it makes, a lot of people miss the point. The point is that in the heat of the moment, Craig remembered the one thing that mattered, his father's voice. If you watch the movie, you'll see that all of the banter going back and forth, all of the things that are happening, there comes one situation where he pulls a gun out of his drawer and his father catches him. His father asked the question, "You think you're a man with that gun in your hand, don't you?" And he said, "I'm a man without it." So then they started to have a conversation, and he started to remind him of his morals and his principles and how important it was for him to understand that that gun does nothing for him. Well, fast forward to the end of the movie, Craig is faced with a life-changing, life-altering decision when he is in a fight with another man named Debo. So when he gets into the fight, he realizes he can't win. At the moment, he pulls out a gun. Now he's pointing this gun at Debo's head, and he has to make the decision on, is this situation worth throwing my entire life away, or is this something that I need to recalibrate and rethink about and redo from another standpoint? Well, lucky for him, he had his father's voice that he could refer back to. And all he kept hearing in his head while he was thinking about this decision was, "Put the gun away, Craig. Put the gun down, Craig. Put the gun down, Craig." And that was his dad saying that. And then he was able to be reminiscent of that conversation that he had before and the conversations that him and his dad have had around this subject of how important it is for him to be a man and stand on his own two instead of taking matters into his own hands and possibly taking another man's life and losing his own all at the same time. So we want to encourage you to think about the things that are going on. How are you protecting your legacy? Who are the people that are in your sphere of influence? Who are the people that are encouraging you? What is the community that you have around you? At Birthright Living Legacy, we are a fatherhood celebration and support organization. The main focus that we have is trying to create and cultivate community of fathers that, one, love their families, two, love themselves, and three, are impactful to the community that they serve. One of the things that a lot of people don't think about is that you can be punished for other people's things. You ever heard of the word accessory? You can be an accessory to a friend's foil. When I was in prison, one of the things that I used to think about the most is something that the judge said to me when I was at sentencing. I walked into the courtroom. He points at a young man that's sitting in the courtroom. I don't know this young man. He doesn't know me. He says, "Hey, do you know this guy?" I said, "I don't know him." He said, "Well, he said that you don't know him either." I said, "Yeah, because we don't know each other." He said, "Well, did you know he had a gun on him?" And I said, "No. How would I have known that?" And he said, "Well, you knew or you should have known." Bam! And I got a 2-point conversion because this man chose to do something, and I, as his friend or associate in this process, had no idea of what he was doing. But what I've learned is they can convict you in court for knowing or should have known. So be careful, one, who you're around, two, what influences you allow into your life, and three, be thinking about what it is you're passing on to your littles, because one day you're going to be gone. Will they have enough information to be able to guide them long beyond your reach? So these are my journals, just some of them, to show that when I die, my kids will inherit this, or they won't. But they will always be here written, and they will always be available for them. Because I found how important it is to protect my legacy, and the written word is part of my legacy. So I challenge you guys, if you don't have a journal, please start one. Don't write it for your kids, but write it for yourself. Give yourself the quotes. Give yourself the books that you're reading, the ideas you have. They may be the people that bring those into fruition because you planted the seed. So think about it and know that just because you don't have to write Dear Diary, it doesn't mean that it still won't have the same impact. So y'all stay peaceful and continue to be thinking on your fatherhood journey, ways that you can be better, and know that you can always reach out to us at Birthright Living Legacy, 3939 South Harvard, here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you're always welcome to join us for our bi-weekly fatherhood meetings. We'll see you guys next time.